Well, hello, back again. This is Raven Dana, Walking Between the Worlds, and it's class 3 of Your Year to Dream. So, we're going to take a look this week at how you can work with your stories, the things you tell yourself, the things that sit unconsciously in the background, your self talk, ways that energy gets leaked into repeat scenarios that you don't want. So, the first question I have for you this week is how much time, effort, attention, resources do you devote to creating the life you want, the things you want, the dreams you have? You would be surprised, I think, if you really took stock of how much time, effort, and energy, maybe not effort because most of it's unconscious, but time and energy ends up being devoted to maintaining old stories or thinking about why a thing can't happen or how hard it's going to be to do XYZ or how I just don't know how to blah, blah, blah. So if you were a little bit more in charge of your thoughts, if you interrupted those stories and inserted some new ones, and you were able to do that with ease, effortlessly, essentially, and that became a habit, you would have a really great tool for creating the things that you want, even in the face of obstacles, because your unconscious mind would then be on the task to find the workarounds, to cut through the weeds, and to get you back on the path when you walk off it. So, without doing that, this is how we create situations, right? Situations are situations that are filled with the debris of our old stories. And it's never pleasant and it always slows things down. So let's take a look this week at some specific things that can be done to alter that possibility. Let's move forward towards our destinations and not get tangled in the weeds. Okay, first of all, self talk. Most of us don't pay a lot of attention to it, but it's always there in the background. And you might be aware that you're hard on yourself, or you might be aware that you call yourself names. Oh, I'm just so stupid. Oh, aren't I silly? Oh, well, look at that. I'm terrible at that, right? Those kinds of things. So I'm going to invite you to knock that off and insert some actual statements that might move you forward. And at first, it might seem kind of a little uncomfortable or silly, but you can say things like, no, I trust myself. I got this. My intuition knows what to do. Hey, I deserve to be happy. I'm creative. I know how to work through this. I'll figure this out. These are the kinds of things that when you repeatedly say them, they happen. I'm going to tell you a little true story. I have for many years say, I'm bad at technology, I suck at technology, me and technology, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm going to tell you that in the past about 6 months, I have been deliberately playing with it, changing my self talk, changing what I say to people, even when I laugh about it and I say it kind of half-assed sarcastically. Oh yeah, I'm great at technology. The words are still coming out of my mouth and my deep mind is still hearing them. I got to tell you, in the past month or so, I have solved things on my phone, solved things on the computer, figured things out, and I'm so surprised and pleased and happy. I'm not going to quit my day job and go into IT or anything, but I'm going to tell you that from that inner shift away from helplessness, I have come to discover a bit of a language that I didn't know existed that helps me now with getting things solved that I didn't know how to solve. And yeah, I'm really pleased. So, things like that. That's a small example, but things like that. And again, when it comes to words, listen to what you say to others as well. Listen to, again, where you put your energy. Are you lamenting more than you are creating hope? Because again, I'm reminding you we have a choice. We can consciously create, or we can unconsciously create, which means the default pattern uses the old stories and the old experiences to create more of the same. So if you're looking for, or have been looking for, creating something different or new or out of the box for yourself, or something that you've been trying to make happen but hasn't been happening. See if you can take a step aside and get more into the flow and create that story in which you already have the thing that you want. It's really surprising how much insight comes from playing in that arena. So here are the steps I'm going to suggest to you to play with this week. To watch your words. Pay attention to your words a little bit more. Be more deliberate in your speech because words are spells and they create and your body hears them. Okay. Use phrases that are deliberately I am, I have, I can, especially when it comes to creating what you're creating this year. I am, I have, I can. And even when you feel like you're full of crap, say them anyway, because that opens that part of your brain that has solutions and directions and intuition and insight. So these are the things that you want to keep telling yourself, because that will get you there. All right, a daily practice. Imagine and embody the end result of something that you want. Imagine and embody it in a way that you actually feel every little thing about having that thing. And again, you might extend that practice sometimes to discover how this version of you that has the thing or is doing the thing, how does this person differ from the person you are today? Does she have more confidence? Does she sit a certain way? Does she wear different clothes? Does she have a different hairstyle? Does she have new glasses? Whatever those little things are that you notice, if it's something you can embody, do it. Embody it. Buy that shirt. Get those glasses. Cut that hair. Because you are then closing the gap between where you are and where you want to be. And again, at the very least, sit quietly and do the imagining, because embodying the result is really a very, very powerful energy moving tool. Okay. And right after that, you want to actually ask the question, out here in the real world, is there some action I need to take? And that might mean, do I need to take a class? Do I need to consult with somebody? Do I need to have a conversation with my friend? Do I need to call so-and-so that's really good at this thing I'm trying to do, or has this thing that I want, and get some insight information about how they did what they did? So sometimes we think that we should be able to just figure it all out on our own, or we think that we should just magically come to the answer as if we're going to trip over it on the street. And now, not to say that that couldn't happen, but let's roll the dice in favor of the result. So think about what it is you're trying to do or what it is you want. And when you get in that space where you have it, like you really have it, you feel yourself having it, that's a great time to ask the question, what did I do to get here? Did I learn something new? Did I try something different? Did I ask for help? So these are the kinds of things that you want to play with this week. This will keep you out of situations and keep you moving forward on the path to where you want to be this year. And one final thing, I'm suggesting that you create a shortcut. And that means to create a word or a phrase that you can say often throughout the day that immediately takes you back to the experience of the thing that you want. Takes you back into the imaginal realm and back to that moment where in your body you're like, yeah, I got this. Boy, this is great. I'm so happy I have this, or I do this, or I am this, whatever that is for you. Because that shortcut phrase, when repeated often, again, will feed that deep mind out of which that energy is turned into results. Okay? And it can be anything. It can be, we're going to do one, actually. We'll do a meditation now, and I'll give you one possibility. And the possibility is going to be the lighthouse. Okay? So you can create whatever you want. You can do it whatever way you want. But in this meditation right here, I'm going to give you the shortcut the lighthouse. And you can use it or not use it, just depends on whether or not you resonate with that image. But okay, again, what you want to pay attention to is where your energy goes, and see if you can make that shift to create a new story or new stories by your words, by your thoughts, by your imagination, and by your action. All right. Next week, I'm just going to give you a heads up, because next week, and we will be on Zoom for this class next week, but we're going to talk about the shadow side. And I want you to have this little piece of information ahead of time, that doing shadow work isn't only about embracing the parts of us that we don't like, the quote unquote negative aspects. The shadow work is also about finding and embracing our unexpressed talents. So keep that in mind, because we want to play in that arena next time. All right. So for now, let's meditate. Okay. Got a frog in my throat. I have several frogs. We're going to ignore them. Bring your attention to your breath and allow your eyes to close. As you breathe, relax your breath. Allow your breath to become slower and deeper. As your breath relaxes, your whole body softens, and you feel yourself settle down on the surface beneath you. Let go. And feel your energy grounding, reaching down into the earth below you, through the floor, through the ground, deep down into the heart of the earth. Feel the way the earth supports and sustains you. Relax even more deeply. Allow your belly to soften, your shoulders to relax. Let your face and jaw soften. And as your mind quiets and you find yourself reaching up and up, you begin to flow, moving through time and space. And you find yourself walking along a beach. And ahead of you on that beach, you see a little hill arise, and a bright red lighthouse. You are intrigued, and you walk up along the sandy path, away from the beach, and around to the steps that take you up to the platform where the lighthouse is. And you notice as you walk the temperature of the air, how moist it is. The seabirds, the little flowers growing by the steps. You notice the sound that your shoes make as you slip them back on, now that you're no longer on the sand. And you walk across the concrete platform. And you take a good look at the lighthouse. You look up. You look at the door. You walk around it. And you have an awareness. This is here for me. For my safety. For my well-being. And as you get around to the other side, there's a little bench there that looks out at the sea. And you have a seat with the lighthouse behind you. You put your feet up on the rail. And the breeze comes off the water, ruffles your clothing and your hair. And you realize how late in the day it is. It's twilight. The sky still has some brightness to it. But the light is definitely fading. It's the blue hour, and the sky is so blue, soft, dusty, gray blue. Everything feels soft and flowing and comfortable in this place. And you feel a sensation, a vibration, a trembling in the ground and in the bench, and you realize, oh, the lighthouse has just turned on. And you turn and you look up to see the light growing brighter and brighter in the top of the lighthouse. And it sweeps. And you turn back out to the sea so you can see that beam reaching out, moving across the water. And you have a thought here. I don't need to be so vigilant. I can let the lighthouse do its job. And there is a nice little shift. You feel even more relaxed. And each sweep of the lighthouse brings a bit of new insight. Stay with it. Be with it. There are people to talk to, information to be had, thoughts to embrace. And with the gliding rotation of the lighthouse, you can see far out to sea. You can see what's there. You can see any obstacles. It's so interesting from the perspective of the lighthouse. It illuminates what you need and what you have, as well as what you can avoid. And the birds are playing in the evening light, calling to each other, doing their sunset dance as the gloaming arrives and the sky darkens even more. And the light from the lighthouse seems to shine that much more brightly. And you close your eyes and feel the air and hear the birds and feel that vibration, that great engine that is the lighthouse, and the light that brings you what you need. And you breathe, traveling on that breath, flowing easily back to the moment, into your body, back to the room in which you rest, calling yourself gently back, bringing with you the lighthouse and all that it gives you. You return gently to the moment, feeling yourself settle down on the surface beneath you. You notice the sensation of clothing on your skin and the feeling of air as you breathe. You come all the way back now and open your eyes, refreshed and relaxed. Okay, welcome back. Thank you for sharing this time with me. And I will post a lighthouse meditation separately in a few days so that you have it as a separate piece from this recording. Have a wonderful week. Please feel free to send me an email or a text to ask me questions, to tell me how you're doing. If there's anything particular I can help you with, or if you're stuck in some way, let me know. And yeah, we're going to keep playing in this arena. So I'll see you next time. Thank you for joining me, Raven Dana, and walking between the worlds with me. Bye for now.